My name is Bryan Stevenson. I'm 53 years old. I live in Montgomery, Alabama, in the United States, and I'm an attorney that does human rights work in the Deep South.
Bryan Stevenson is the founder and executive director of the Equal Justice Initiative, or EJI, a human rights organization in Montgomery, Alabama. Mr. Stevenson is a widely acclaimed public interest lawyer who has dedicated his career to helping the poor, the incarcerated, and the condemned. Under his leadership, EJI has won major legal challenges, eliminating excessive and unfair sentencing, exonerating innocent death row prisoners, confronting abuse of the incarcerated and the mentally ill, and aiding children prosecuted as adults. Mr. Stevenson and his staff have won reversals, relief, or release from prison for over 135 wrongly condemned prisoners on death row, and won relief for hundreds of others wrongly convicted or unfairly sentenced.
I was told that I could never go to the public school system because I was black. I was told I could never go to college because I was black. I was told I would never be a professional or a lawyer because I was poor. I was told that I didn't come from a family that was good enough and strong enough to have the kind of opportunities that I've been able to enjoy. And that reality is what shaped me in a lot of ways. And I always knew that my people were as good as anybody's people. My community was as good as anyone's community. There was as much dignity and love and compassion and commitment in my poor rural black settlement as there was in the most esteemed and respected communities that someone could identify.
A graduate of the Harvard Law School and the Harvard School of Government, Mr. Stevenson has received 40 honorary doctoral degrees, including degrees from Harvard, Yale, Princeton, the University of Pennsylvania, and Oxford University. He's the author of the critically acclaimed New York bestseller, Just Mercy, which has been awarded many honors. He led the creation of two highly acclaimed cultural sites which opened in 2018, the Legacy Museum and the National Memorial for Peace and Justice. These new national landmark institutions chronicle the legacy of slavery, lynching, and racial segregation, and the connection to mass incarceration and contemporary issues of racial bias.
Hi, thank you so much for this incredible recognition. I am so honored to receive this award. As a member of the Georgia Bar, as someone who was practicing in Georgia in the 1980s, I'm aware of the extraordinary work that this organization has done to lift up justice, and I want to thank you for that. We're living at a time when our community is burdened in ways that require lawyers to lift their voices. We have the highest rate of incarceration in the world in this country. We have burdened millions of people with probation and parole. 70 million people in this country have criminal arrest histories. We've been particularly menacing to women. In the last 25 years, the percentage of women going to jails and prisons has increased 620%. 70% of these women are single parents with minor children, and there is a need for advocacy, there is a need for reform. And I know the Georgia Association of Black Women Attorneys understands that, and I want to thank you for that. Keep staying connected and proximate to the poor and the excluded, the disfavored, the marginalized, because that's where our power comes from. We have to find ways to give hope to these communities. I thank you for helping in this narrative work that has to happen. We are still burdened by a history of slavery and lynching and segregation, and our communities need advocates to help expose the ways in which too many people of color are presumed dangerous and guilty. Thank you for staying hopeful. I am persuaded that hopelessness is the enemy of justice, and we have to be caretakers, custodians of the hope that made it possible for many of us to enjoy the situations, the roles that we now play. We stand on the shoulders of people who did so much more with so much less. And finally, thank you for being an organization that does the uncomfortable things, the inconvenient things when justice demands, when justice requires. That's all I'm trying to do with my career. That's what I'm trying to do at the Equal Justice Initiative, and your recognition means the world. Thank you all so very, very much, and I hope you have a fantastic evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, we salute Bryan Stevenson.